Hello students. Today I am going to discuss the gene transfer methods in plants. It is the second part. In this portion I will discuss the methods of gene transfer using a virus vector which is used for the gene transfer in plants. Before entering into the portion of virus mediated gene transfer, I would like to discuss the portion which I did not able to complete in the last class. So that is the agrobacterium mediated gene transfer technique, which is basically used in the laboratory, and how the culture process can be done inside a laboratory. So let's start. This is the transformation technique using the agrobacterium mediated gene transfer, by which the plants are acquired the foreign genes using a agrobacterium mediated vector. So in this process, in this technique, the plants the leaves are used as the explant, and basically not the whole leaf but the leaf discs are used, used for this purpose. And why the discs are used? Because if we use the disc means a circular portion of the plant and plant leaf, and its end, the surface of these discs are just excited from the middle portion of the plant. So this, there may be some wound. There is a wound, and this wound is uh, inducing the agrobacterium mediated gene transfer, and it attracts the agrobacterium because these wounds secretes the phenolic compounds like acetylsyringone and hydroxyacetylsyringone. So these leaf discs are used for this purpose. And now question arises, if we use any other explants for this purpose. Generally we can use all types of cells and explants. Theoretically it is possible, but the practical implications of these explant using is that the chance of agrobacterium mediated infection is lowered in this in the other type of explants. Like if we use callus, then the callus is not wounded, and generally the calluses are not calli are not wounded. So we have to use some chemical uh, phenolic compounds for this purpose. So basically this is the best technique using this leaf disc method. Now what is done here? The leaf discs are incubated with genetically engineered Lactobacterium for overnight culture, and this is known as the co-cultivation process. And after this, in this media, the this is a selection media in which the only the agrobacterium, those are genetically engineered, these agrobacterium will grow, and otherwise not any agrobacterium which is not genetically engineered, that cannot grow. Because in this media we use some antibiotics, and the genetically engineered agrobacteria contains the antibiotic resistance gene, so that this antibiotic resistant gene containing agrobacteria will be survived in this media. And after that the selection media, after that the overnight incubation, these leaf discs are transferred into the plant regeneration, the basically the liquid media in which these leaf discs are placed, so that there may be some organogenesis and embryogenesis will be occurred. And these embryos can be transferred into shoot inducing media, followed by the transferring into the root inducing medium. After induction of root, these plantlets are transferred into the soil, right, containing pot which for hardening, and from there the adult plants carrying the transgene carrying the transgene can be uh, can be generated. So basically this is a total process by which we can we must do this process for up to 3 to 4 weeks, and within 1 month from this leaf disc we can get a whole transgenic plant. So this is the method. But keep one thing in mind: these all medias are containing the selection media. That means these containing the kanamycin or carbonicillin type of antibiotics, and these are very much essential for the selection of transgenic plants. So this portion I now completed, and let's enter into the virus mediated gene transfer in plants. So basically, these virus vectors are used generally to transfer the foreign gene into the plant genome. But then there are some features that should be kept in mind, which are these features of the virus vector. The virus can infect the cell of an adult plant. All we know that these can be infect a adult plant by symmetrically, and thus they can spread throughout the plant. Otherwise, in case of agrobacterium mediated infection, only some portions of the plants are infected by the agrobacterium, and thus we have to select those selected portions of plants those are transfected by the foreign gene. So there may be some reporting gene assay by which we can select only those portions which are now gaining the foreign gene by the using of agrobacterium mediated gene transfer. But this selection is not necessary when we use the virus as the vector. Basically, the virus produce large number of copies per cell, leading to the gene amplification. We don't need any type of artificial gene amplification technique, and the recombinant proteins is which is produced is in the large quantity. And but there are some disadvantages also. So viral genome cannot be integrated into plant genome. So thus they cannot be used to produce stable and heritable transformation. When we using the viral genome for the virus as a vector, these transgenic plants cannot be transfer its genetic material from its next into its next generation. So we cannot get a stable and heritable transformant or transgenic plant in this case. And but they can be used to express transgene, with a view to either improve the phenotypic performance of host plants or to produce large quantity of valuable protein. Basically, to produce large quantity of valuable proteins, we generally use this viral mediated gene transfer in plants. So both DNA and RNA viruses are used in this process, and they are used to transfer the gene in case of model plant as well as in many crop plants. I am discussing this in the next slide, where the DNA and RNA viruses are classified with their use and the crop plants in which these are used for the gene transfer process. But remember one thing, that these gene transfer is just for one generation only, and these transferred gene cannot be passed into its next generation. So please go through this table for your MCQ questions, and I think you will get more in the internet. You can also access these. Um, so now there is a virus called Gemini virus, which is maybe used for the agro infection. It is the very much important by which the agro infection in this agro infection, the virus and agrobacteria, those are simultaneously used to transfer the gene. And in case of agro infection, this is possible to insert the gene inside the plant genome. So let's see what is the agro-infection. The term agro-infection was first used to describe the use of agrobacterium for the introduction of infectious molecules to plants. This implies the infection of the host plant with a molecule, the infectious agent, generally a virus or viroid, that has the ability to replicate and spread within the plant. Subsequently, the term agro-inoculation has also been used to describe the inoculation step. The inoculation means the culture of virus or bacteria with the host cell. This is known as the inoculation. And here, the replication of the agent within the plant often leads to systemic viral or viroidal symptoms that witness tDNA transfer independently of tDNA integration. So, without tDNA integration, the tDNA can be transferred. If we want to transfer tDNA independently, and there is a main important thing is that we don't need any type of binary vectors. That means we do not need the V region from the Ti plasmid or Ri plasmid, and only the tDNA can be transferred using the viroidal symptoms and viral symptoms. And here, no tumorigenic strains of Agrobacterium are used. So the tDNA must be disarmed here, and there is no requirement for the integration of for the using of the V region of Ti plasmid. And this plant containing the part of the agent genome integrated into the plant nuclear DNA. So this is the advantage of agro-infection. When we use both virus and bacteria together, we can easily integrate the agent genome into the plant genome without developing any tumorigenic symptom in plant. So here is the agro-infection in the figure, where the this is the plant cell and this is the tDNA, Ti plasmid, and where this tDNA plasmid is transferred into the plant cell, where the plant where this tDNA undergoes the repair template and the double strand break repair via HDR technique. This genome can be inserted using the Caspr-9 gRNA complex target host genome, where this type of integration is possible without and basically this engineered site becomes a part of the plant genome. This is the main thing by which we can by which for this we are generally using this agro infection. So the use of agro infections are where we can use basically some viruses are there, those cannot be transmitted to host plant by mechanical inoculation but requires an insect vector. When there are several aphids and insects are present in the nature who transfer the virus into the plants. But these viruses cannot be transferred for their own into the plants. They cannot infect the plants for their own, like the beet western yellow virus, yellow litovirus, which uses the aphid for its infection. Also, in our country, we have found that Lipophyes erythema is the insect which carries some virus. Those are responsible for the disease symptom in mustard. And if we use agro infection in this case, the insect host cannot be required for this for the transfer of virus into the plant. So we can easily use this agro infection technique to transfer the gene what we are you think to be transferred, or the gene of interest using a virus, but this virus needs a insect. Using agro infection, these insect portion can be omitted so that the virus is easily now transferred its genome into the plants, and by this way the a new type of transgenic plants can be evolved. So students, this is the portion where I have discussed the indirect method of gene transfer in plants. In the next classes I am going to discuss the direct gene transfer methods in plants. So please go through these slides, and if you have any question you can ask me. Thank you.